Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 3 of my experience with the Fae. So, I will continue where I left off. So, my fairy had just taken a bite out of the muffin I left for him. It was remarkable. I had never seen anything like that before, and I could not logically explain away the reason for that tiny little bite mark. And it wasn't like too tiny, like it could have been just something like a crumb. It was just this perfect little small bite mark out of the side of this small muffin. And so I was deeply impressed that day, and it dawned, it hit me that this being is here with me. This fairy is here with me, that he's actually legitimately here, that the Fae are real. And so after that, I was so amazed that actually happened. And I remember after that experience, about 2 days or so after, a few days after, I came home from work one day and I saw in my little front yard, a tiny front yard, I saw a circle of mushrooms pop up in my tiny front yard, because I lived in a townhouse, so I didn't really have a yard, but there was a small patch of green grass in front of the little porch that I had. And I saw this little ring of mushrooms that I had lived there an entire year, about a year and a half. No. Yeah, a year and a half to 2 years I had lived there. And I had never seen mushrooms pop up in any way, shape, or form in my yard, ever. And I saw that and I was like, when did that pop up? I've never seen anything like that, in my yard. I've heard about them, and I've seen pictures of them and stuff like that. But when did that happen? And I saw it, and I realized again that was another sign from my fairy, and he was letting me know, hey, I'm here with you. I'm actually here with you. So now with the muffin, or I should say the pendulum, the muffin, the mushroom fairy ring in my front lawn, I realized that this wasn't just something made up. This was actually happening, and it was real. And so after that, I remember asking him, I was having a conversation with him, and I asked where he wanted to go, if there was any place special he wanted to go. And I said, would you like to go to, do you want to go to the beach and we can sit out and hang out at the beach and just meditate or something like that, And he said, I was using the pendulum at the time, and it swung into yeah, sure. And I said, do you want to go to an ice cream store? We can go as friends. You want to go as friends to the ice cream store? And it started swinging in the no. And I said, you don't want to go to the ice cream store? And then it swung into the yes. I said, so you do want to go to the ice cream store as friends? And it swung no. And I was like, oh, you want to go to the ice cream store as like brother and sister, right? Like, kid brother, kid sister, No, didn't want to go to the ice cream store as brother and sister. And I had this feeling suddenly take me over. and it gripped my chest, like my chest got tight. And I asked the question, do you want to go to the ice cream store as like a date? And it started going from no, started swinging into the yes. And I said, oh boy. Oh boy. I was shocked. And because until then, I kind of saw him as this adorable, fae that, was just wanting to have fun and be silly and, just like my best little bud, And certainly that was the energy that I got from him, was just very, very happy, bubbly, silly kind of character or energy that I got from him. But that day that I asked him that, and he responded, yes, my breath caught in my throat, and my chest felt tight because I couldn't believe it. I thought surely me being a human, surely that that wouldn't be something he would be remotely, interested in at all. And so I was very surprised. And it took me a second to process the information and to make sure that what I was receiving was truth. I regrounded, made sure everything was clear, and I asked again, and that was the same answer I was getting every time. And I was surprised. And I asked him, how long have you felt like this? Did this just happen recently? He swung, no. And I said, okay, how long has it been like this? And something like inside me just felt like I needed to ask, has it been like this since you've known me? And he swung, yes. And then I remembered the question that I asked him and the feeling that I got from purchasing the vessel, and the feeling that I got when I asked him, hey, if I was a fairy girl and you were a fairy guy, would I be your fairy girlfriend? And he kept swinging hard in the yes. And I thought he was just being sweet. Nope. There was more to it than I realized. So it was at that time that I started feeling his energy a little more. He would bring this feeling over me, and it would kind of wash over my body. It was like a tingling sensation that he would bring to me. And I knew that was him. So sometimes if I would ask, hey, are you here? I would feel this just over my chest, over my heart, and my chest and my shoulders. And I learned that day that he didn't necessarily want to be just friends. And so I spoke to my trusted, psychic medium, and I said, I had just recently discovered that, I had been a mermaid in a past life, and that was all exciting and things, but this was a separate matter, or so I thought. And I asked her, I said, recently I had a conversation with my fairy, and he told me this. I said, is there any validity in this, or am I doing something? it was still very new for me. And so she said, no, she said, he's known you for a long time. She said, he knew you when you were a mermaid. And I said, what? She said, yeah. She said that he said that when he met me, I guess there was some kind of a storm and I had been separated from, I guess, my family or whoever I was with out there, and I had got pushed into a river system, and I had that's where I had rested or come to rest in that river, and that's where he found me. And she said, he said he went down there and he was going to help you get better. She said that he said, when I saw you, though, I was going to make you my friend. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When I saw you, he's like, I never shut up. You were going to be my friend. So I guess he spoke to me a lot. She said that she could see him putting ointment on the same place where my knees would be on my fin. And she said that he was putting some kind of ointment on an injury that I had there. And the whole thing, she said, was very, very secret, as if he had to be very careful not to let anyone know that I was there or that he was there. So I don't know if there were humans in the area or, various, threats like that. But that he helped me get better. And we became friends. But I realized then that in the conversation, that was why he said he'd always liked me. And it was because in my brain, I thought it was just, at meeting him in this life. But no, it had been for many years in the past that I did not remember. And so after learning about that, it put a whole new perspective on why I felt the way I did when I saw his vessel, and why he attached himself to that vessel, and why I felt the way I did, and so why he liked Egyptian magic. It's because he had seen and known my spirit for a long time. And so yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. And I learned then, I was about to learn at least, that the Fae are they can be quite forward about these things. So we would often go to this little ice cream store, and I would get him ice cream, a little bit of like ice cream with fruit on it. And I would enjoy mine and things like that. And I started to notice that anytime I felt sad or upset, I would start seeing, especially if I was outside, I would start seeing butterflies. Just come out of nowhere, just butterflies. And I would start to see rainbows. Just randomly, I would just be directed toward rainbows, like literal rainbows in the sky. And they could have been partial from a cloud and the way it refracted against the sunlight, or it may have been a legitimate rainbow, or, it could have been in some water that had passed by. I would just see a glimmer of a rainbow. He would always show me butterflies and rainbows to help me feel better. He's very kind. When I meditated, I started seeing butterfly wings flapping. And in meditation, that is when I learned that the Fae do not fly the way Tinkerbell flies in Peter Pan. They actually fly more like how you would see a parachuter. They kind of, their legs kind of are back and kind of open with their knees up a little bit. And their hands are kind of out like this as well when they're flying. Because every time I would see this butterfly image, I started realizing that it was him, because I could see the legs bent up and the little hands like this, and I saw his butterfly wings. He has blue skin, and he has yellow type, almost very similar to monarch butterfly wings, but they're yellow and black instead of the orange and black. Oh, the swallowtail. They're very similar to swallowtail. That's what it is, swallowtail. So, yeah, I discovered more about what he looked like, and, you know, his feelings, and why they had been that way, and how he would make me feel better using these things that he would show to me. So, again, this is, I will see you in the next part. It's getting a little long, this video. So I'll see you in the next part of my experiences with the Fae. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you would like to follow me on Facebook, please feel free. I leave the link in the description below, and I hope to see you there. And I hope everyone has a beautiful day or evening. Blessings to you, and goodbye.